welcome to Things Podcast, where you get kids' views on world news. Today we have quite a few stories here, presented by a member of the Big Three, and the only member of the Big Three without like a set-in-stone role to play in this company, Connery.
Hello.
Okay.
Everybody talk down. Everybody talk down.
Wait, are we a company?
Everybody talk down on the laptop.
Okay.
I didn't sign up for this.
Okay, stop.
Talk down on the laptop.
So our first story tonight is about New Zealand and China's relationship with each other. Now,
You would fit.
New Zealand and China have a very close relationship with a huge amount of New Zealand's trade going out to China. They are our biggest trading partner, and we really need them to be able to exist as a
Functioning.
functioning economy.
Yeah.
But Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern repeatedly said the communist country was one of our most important relationships. But she also pointed out the different perspectives between New Zealand and Taiwan being excluded from the HWO, Hong Kong's new security law, and the plight of the Uyghur people. It's quite natural for us to raise concern about Hong Kong's security laws, but ultimately issues between New Zealand and other countries are normal, and to not curtail or define our bilateral relationships to which we remain absolutely committed. I don't think this is a good statement, because that's basically saying that China is doing things wrong, but we shouldn't do anything about it.
Genius.
People, could we please have a round of applause for William making a comment not only on his own merit, but also as the third person to speak in this podcast.
I don't exist.
Dylan, no.
Then the Chinese responded to New Zealand, or the Chinese ambassador said, China has always followed the principle of non-interference in others' internal affairs. At the same time, China stands ready to safeguard its core and major interests. Issues related to Taiwan, Hong Kong, Xinjiang, and Tibet all touch on China's sovereignty and security, and these are all China's internal affairs. I disagree. China has been proven to be very much influencing other countries and changing other countries. The country has very repeatedly given out loans that a country they give it to cannot pay, and because they cannot pay, China decides to take the money in property.
Geniuses.
And that's how Chinatown's for, boys.
They also
How
own...
to take over the world 101.
William! They also own a huge amount of ports in Europe. Nearly 10% of all ports in Europe are owned by China. So it seems that China is really just trying to take over all of the world's trade.
Yeah. China's so big it stretches to England's ports.
It does.
So,
Wait.
here we have a story
Whoa.
that just makes China not only sound like a hypocrite, but like
Let's say
some power-hungry take over the world James Bond villain.
This is really random. But can you buy an ocean?
Okay.
Yes, not right now though.
Okay.
Well,
so,
no, you can. You can. Because what you do is, if you're a fisherman, you have like an area in which you're allowed to fish. So you go to tons of different fishermen, buy all their land from them until you own an ocean.
Oh my god.
Okay. So what I was gonna say was, I know that China, of course, China is interfering in other affairs, just as any other bit major like economy or bit large country, like America of the sort. Like America changes like a lot of they kind of change politicians and stuff, don't they? In like other countries.
Yeah, they have
to suit their
policy
agendas.
of interference while denying any interference.
Genius.
Which is basically the same as China, although China is a lot better at hiding it.
Yeah.
Honestly, China just seems really sketchy right now.
Yeah, you know that they have a policy that's called, I don't remember what it's called, something like civilian integration, where they send Chinese university students to other countries for really cheap, and they send so many of them that it gives the Chinese population there a really big voice in the country. Like in Australia, for example, nearly it's nearly 3% of the entire population are Chinese university students.
3%.
Yeah.
ASMR time.
That is a
They are
huge
all
amount.
university students from China, not just Chinese people in general, but people that are Chinese and go to university. The fact that that's 3% is just
Insane. But it makes sense. Like, in a Western democracy and even in China, university is expensive. If you can get it for cheaper just by going down south, you would do it.
Yeah.
that's fair.
Okay. Moving on to our next story. Okay. The Australian, is it a county?
Connery sad sigh noises.
Do they have county? Is that what they're called? Counties? Like,
Connery sad sigh noises.
like Western Australia, Victoria, Queenstown, are
Oh
they counties?
yeah, don't they? Yeah, they have.
Okay, I'm just gonna call
They
them
have
a county.
states, I think.
I'm just gonna call them a county.
Is it
So,
states?
Victoria County in Australia has hit a record of 484 new COVID cases in a single day.
How many?
Oh, dang.
484.
Victoria.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's look on the right side. So not as much as Florida. Am I right, boys?
And less
Nothing
less
is as much as
COVID
Florida.
less COVID cases for us, and I mean that's how it works, right?
But it
That's
is
how it works, right?
not
That's
a,
how it works, right?
That's how it works, right? The
Stokes.
Florida people took off all the COVID, right? We're safe now. Please. I've been
nuke
stuck
Florida,
inside
we're
for
done.
the past 100 days.
Just nuke Florida and we're fine. Ow.
okay. So this
No, don't nuke Florida. Make Florida become nuke.
Oh
So-
my god.
this isn't good, especially for the idea of a trans-Tasmanian bubble, which seemingly was looking good to happen.
About a month
Australia
ago.
was coming out their lockdown, they were getting less cases, and then suddenly their cases have spiked, and they're now at a couple thousand, even 10,000 cases.
Like a lot of countries in the world at the moment.
Yeah, but it's especially strange because Australia was doing fine. In fact, they had a lot more cases than us, but I would say that's mostly due to their higher population than us and anything else, and all their population is squeezed into big urban areas.
There's probably
Because
there
the
was
middle
probably
is
a
mainly
very,
desert.
It was probably a very close, like cases per capita
Like
per
Disney.
million people.
Yeah, and it's getting better. It was getting better. So everything looked good for Tasmanian bubble. We could actually have tourism open up, which would be huge for the New Zealand economy to get us right back on track to fixing it. But now, since they went out of lockdown, everything has spiked and they've had to go back into lockdown.
So this means that Queensland has gone back. Oh no, Victoria. What is it?
Victoria.
Victoria has gone back into lockdown, which, as Connery said, means that tourism will have to be delayed, which is quite bad because the entirety of New Zealand got like 20% poorer over the lockdown because New Zealand was a country that just as soon as COVID hit them, they went into quarantine and gave money to people who couldn't work.
Yeah.
We were
Because of
big
that.
brain.
But because of that, now everyone's a lot poorer. However, it's better than in America where they thought they'd go for the economy instead of people's health, but because so many people are dying, it's probably making the economy a lot worse than if they just went straight into lockdown.
Yeah, my opinion. Yeah, like adding on to that, America did that, but they didn't keep in mind that for an economy to work functionally, they need to have people in jobs
Indeed.
to make that economy
For a country
an economy.
to exist, you need humans.
Yeah.
because-
Also, didn't they go into lockdown quite late?
Didn't they have 30 million? I think from one of the last podcasts. There's 30 million unemployment or something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they went into lockdown
3
really late. They've already come out of lockdown. And they are at the worst it has been so far. And by the end of this month, or next month, that's when all the Americans' taxes are due. And 28 million people won't be able to pay their taxes.
Wait, does that mean Trump's just gonna execute them? I'm kidding.
No.
It means
So
that the
it's not
government...
going to be just that they go out on the streets and live there. There's going to be a riot. And
Oh,
a
definitely,
likely,
Um,
maybe civil war.
There are already
Yes,
riots
yeah, we love it.
going on.
People are powerful then.
I mean, like the
And-
secret police happening in Poland, in
Poland. This is America.
Portland.
Portland.
And the worst thing is, what is the government going to do about this? If 28 million people can't pay taxes, that means the government has substantially less money to pay cops, teachers, doctors and nurses and firefighters, especially cops, because that means if riots happens, they'll probably be too short-staffed to be able to do anything effective, especially if it's focused in one area.
And I say that's a good thing.
Okay.
Especially because the riots are justified. And police brutality is a horrible thing, and there are a bunch of things that the riots are talking about that are a good thing. The riots should
They
be
are
happening.
very much justified, but if too many happen and they get too violent, like you said, something like a civil war, that is not good, because America,
Innocent people.
not only do, as Dylan just said, innocent people potentially die, America has a very big impact on today's economic structure. So if something like this were to happen, it could cause a big economic disaster worldwide, potentially.
I
I have an idea.
I have a very good idea of this. It's just, I don't want a civil war to happen. It would be horrible. I think it would be the best thing for the country for it to happen, though.
Fuck
If-
America.
If the police can't do anything, there's a chance that Trump will call in the military. And Connor, I know I've told you this before, Boston Massacre, but again,
Not
modern
very
day.
likely.
I mean, is
If
it?
there's another Boston Massacre-like incident, it's gonna be more than just 2 people dead.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wait, wasn't the story meant to be about Australia?
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah,
what?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh
so
wait,
next
Oh,
one.
wait.
Moving
What?
on.
Australia.
Our next story is about Kanye West.
Yay!
Ah, yay, our favorite presidential candidate.
Woohoo!
Kanye
definitely.
West holed up at secure bunker to hide from family.
Genius.
I
You're
don't
running
blame
for
him.
president.
I don't blame him. It's the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, them.
But still, it
Kim Kardashian.
seems a little overboard. And so,
This is why you don't run for president and go against all your family's wishes.
Kanye West
Especially
accused
if your family's insane.
his wife and mother-in-law of trying to lock him up, comparing his life to film Get Out, a movie about an African-American man who is brought to his white girlfriend's family home and uncovers a series of disturbing
Get
details
Out.
about them.
I've seen that. That's
Do you think Kanye West could be compared to it?
God no. In Get Out, they try and transfer his brain to someone else's.
No,
Like-
they try to transfer someone else's mind into his.
Yeah, That.
You
Yeah.
had it the wrong way around. I just
Possibly.
pulled a quick little Uno reversal.
You.
After leaking all of his posts, Kanye is said to now be hiding from his family in a secure area of his country estate as he awaits his wife's response. The area includes an underground bunker with a panic room purposely built for the family to go into an emergency that is stocked up with food This bunker cost $22 million.
And it's his family's or his?
It's his
I mean,
family's.
hey, for someone who's
Oh my god, okay.
for someone who's as much as a financial genius as Kanye West, that is chump change.
Yeah, but like, Kanye West is hiding in a bunker that's owned by his family. Can their family not just get a key?
Well, maybe.
Like,
I don't know the full details.
You
of
probably
the
can only
situation.
open it from the inside.
Something like that.
then how did he get in?
No,
Instead of someone who sits there like,
There's probably a lock on the inside that isn't locked when nobody's in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kim Kardashian will just buy a nuke.
Yeah.
Bad news.
Yeah.
Now,
I buy President America.
this is the best part of the story, though. So, he's told off a bunker after West's emotional presidential rally in South Carolina yesterday, where he and the crowd that he and Kardashian almost aborted their eldest child. Kim said she was pregnant, and for 1 month and 2 months and 3 months we talked about her not having this child. She held the pills in her hand. When you take the pills and if you take it, the baby's gone, he said. I was sitting up in Paris and I had my leather pants on. I'm in the apartment where my wife was actually robbed. I had my laptop up, and I got all my creative ideas. I got my shoes, I got my next album cover, I got all this, and the screen went black and white, and God said, if you fuck with my vision, I'm gonna fuck with yours. And I called my wife, and she said, we're gonna have this baby. West has previously confirmed in interviews that he has bipolar disorder.
What is by?
What's that?
He's talking
Oh.
like Trump talks. He is incoherent.
Well, no. Look,
No, it's another Trump.
Trump supporters have the same mental capabilities as Trump.
Yeah.
So most of the population of America.
Yeah. Sorry
Most
if there
of the
are any Americans
big
listening. Just
Right-wing
disclaimer.
Republican people.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them are Republican because that's how it's a lot of the politicians that get into presidency are like Republican, right? A long line of Republicans.
Yes, so while Democrats do get elected a lot, I'm pretty sure there are more Republicans elected though. That's not the issue because it's what it looks like from the outside is that there is a right-wing party. Right-wing means that there is more government control.
And like higher taxes.
Yeah, and stuff like that. A right-wing party, the Republicans, and a left-wing party, which is more, it's supposed to be closer, not is, but closer to more socialist and communist stuff.
Communism.
The Democratic Party, which is supposed to be the leftist party, is so far right on the spectrum that it's been said that the Republicans may actually be more left than the Democrats.
Whoa. That's not.
Because
good.
that's
not a good statistic.
Bill Clinton, right?
Yeah.
He was
He was a Republican.
he Republican?
I believe so, yeah.
No, I thought he was a Democrat.
Hillary Clinton
She was an
was
Hillary-
Democrat.
Hillary was a Democrat. I'm pretty sure Bill was a Republican. Hold on, I'll look it up. Oh no, he was a Democrat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was a Democrat trying to be like a Republican.
Yeah.
He was standing by the Democrat, like their policies, right? But he was doing tactics like the Republicans,
Yeah.
like law and order, like hard on crime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just put it in the pocket.
So we have just confirmed that Kanye was, for once, wrong about politics. And Bill
For
Clinton.
once.
Oh my god.
Bill
Bill
Clinton was in fact a Democrat. Scum.
Dylan proved them wrong.
For the first time in, 2.5 years?
So moving on to our next article, and followed into a discussion about new hip video games by me and Dylan. We have video games and violence. Has the link finally been debunked? So, here we have an article made by science reporter Jamie Morton on the NZ Herald. The long-standing debate over whether violent video games eventually make players themselves more violent might be over. Thanks to a new analysis led by a Kiwi researcher, using data from 28 long studies using 21,000 people, the study concluded that no major long-term effect on aggression and that poor quality research might have exaggerated the link. Published in the Journal Royal Society Open Science, the analysis set out to find whether people who played violent video games for longer than 3 months experienced increases in their aggressiveness. We found an extremely small effect of violent gameplay on aggression, which in our view is too small to be practically meaningful. So, yes, there is a little bit of evidence saying that it causes. There is evidence that it causes aggression. However, it does not cause enough aggression to be meaningful.
Like, is it like 1% increase or something?
Probably
It's
something
hard to
like
do a
that.
percentage increase if you're talking about the human mind.
Yeah.
It is the most complicated thing in this universe that we know of.
Can you not, William?
What about like a super complex AI?
Okay, after.
Do we have one of those?
Probably.
Nothing is as complex as the human mind that we know of.
Fine.
What about a computer's coding?
What about
If it can be understood by the human's mind, it is not as complicated as the human mind.
Can't you
what
understand
about
human mind?
Obama's last
No.
name?
Oh god!
What about if aliens are real? Can we understand that? No.
Yes, we can!
But we can't though, can we? We don't have aliens in front of us.
Can
We
I
can't
charge
tell
my
if they
phone?
actually exist.
Do you have a
William?
charger?
You can't tell if we have a brain in our mind.
Yeah.
Ben, do you have
Now you have the general basis of what the story is. What do you guys think of it?
It's
Dylan?
well, what I think about it is, now I can say I told you so.
now I can shut down people on
TF2 game chat.
Reddit who I like to get into a lot of arguments with the people on Reddit.
So you just use Reddit.
Hmm?
You're just a casual
No.
Redditor.
No,
You're a casual
I
Redditor.
I don't use Reddit that much. The last time I was on Reddit was with you, Ben, but I have gotten into arguments when I go on Reddit.
About what?
Everything.
Have you ever gone into an argument over whether video games cause aggression?
Yes.
What were some of the opposing arguments?
The sum of the opposing arguments wasn't any comebacks. There weren't no comebacks. It was just them refusing to listen to what I had to say.
Give us an example.
So,
You fucking bitch.
I
You think I care about your opinion? You
Cool
get-
chapter, is it?
I
The
said
obvious
it-
flat Australia doesn't exist.
Jesus Christ,
you
shut
can
up.
go see your parents!
I cited a
Australia
study
doesn't exist.
that said that is a very reliable study saying that video games technically cause violence, sure, but it's not that the video games itself as a cause of the violence is that video games bring out violent tendencies in violent people, and other things can bring out violent tendencies in those people.
Can you stop, William?
Okay.
I could just see the bar just
counted.
going up just from every single time you do that.
They countered
Welcome.
with, who cares what that article was about? It's from New Zealand.
What? Did they know that you're from New Zealand?
No, but the article I cited was from a New Zealand publisher.
Oh my god.
You should just say to them,
Is that technically racist?
No.
it's countryist.
Yeah.
Well, that's sort of like Ray. Well, I guess, because people of different races can be in different countries.
Asia is
but
my country. London is my city.
What?
Asia is my country. Hong Kong is my city.
Can we stop here?
China is my
China is my
suburb.
city.
Can we stop here before I murder you?
China is my suburb.
the Earth is my
Okay.
continent.
Asia is my...
The Fitness Gram Pacer Test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity pacer test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. Remember to run in a straight line. Pacer test. The Fitness Gram Pacer Test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity pacer test. Remember to run in a straight line.